What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Fight Junkeez. My name is Bobby, and today I have an awesome guest. His name is Overtflow. He goes by PJ. He is a former professional gamer who is also a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and is also in the world of the influencer boxing, which I'm super excited to have on. So give a round of applause for PJ today on Fight Junkeez.
Awesome, guys. Super excited to be here. And this is so random, but this is the beauty of Vegas, right? I'm born and raised out here in Las Vegas, and I go on little walks every day on the strip, and just you always run into something super random, super fun. It's an exciting place, and I just saw this man filming I think interviews or something. I actually didn't see an interview. I saw you with a microphone and a camera, and I assumed if I walked by and I seemed slightly curious, you might be like, hey, you want to get in here? And sure enough, that's what happened, and now I'm on this podcast, so thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Yeah, I was like, he looks like he does something. Let me snatch him up real quick. And then I have another awesome guest today, Dobrik, right?
Black Ice.
Black Ice. One of my friends. He has another podcast within the Sticky Paw studio as well. I see him all the time, but today I wanted to have him as a guest on Fight Junkie. So welcome, Black Ice, big bro, another veteran. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yep. Woo!
And then last but not least, this beautiful man to my right, a fellow New Jerseyan, the dad of Overt himself. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
You got beautiful teeth.
Thank you.
Lucky teeth.
Very nice.
We'll just call you dad all day, all right?
That sounds great.
So what's up, gents?
How are you? I'm excited to have my dad on here as well. He drove me down here. My car is currently at the dealership, so I was like, Dad, can you drive me to this podcast? And now he's on a podcast. We're probably going to hear some wild things. We might have to edit some stuff out. You know, my dad is 61 years of age, so sometimes he gets a little wild.
I'll be careful. But I do want to say something.
Say anything you want.
I will in a second. But anyway, thanks for having me on the show. This is exciting. I was just coming home from rubbing somebody's feet because I'm a massage therapist. My son said, hey, Dad, can you drive me somewhere? I said, sure. And now I'm here. That's how Vegas works.
I wish my dad was sitting next to me.
Yeah.
You
well,
know, you
for
just
right
say
now.
yes to things.
For right now.
Yeah, for right now,
Me.
this is your dad.
Yes.
For now.
Please.
No, I can never be your dad,
But temporarily.
this moment.
I mean, you
Temporarily adopted.
That jawline. Jesus
man.
Christmas. And you're from New
almost
Jersey.
like his.
I heard it in his accent. I could tell. Where'd you got a little East Coast swagger to
Oh,
you.
everybody says that. I grew up in Seattle. Don't ask me what happened. Papa was a Rolling Stone, man. What can I say?
That's interesting.
Oh,
In
my.
Seattle.
Yeah.
That's almost the opposite. Of
Well, my
Completely opposite.
Well, that's why I didn't get along with anybody there. I got along with people from New York, New Jersey, the Midwest, but all the people on the West Coast, man, it's just like this. Because I have thick skin and a soft heart. I don't get offended easily. I don't take things personal. People in Seattle, oh, you made fun of my cat. I'm going to HR. It literally happened. I'm like, you serious?
That's an actual story.
So it's like, you know what? I can't be around this. I finally moved 2.5 years ago. I moved down here. I said, I got to get out of here.
Vegas is good, though. It's a good mix of everybody.
It's kind of neutral. It's like nobody really. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're right or left, whatever. Okay, fine. I just need to hustle and make money. Nobody's going to your car and keying it because you have an American flag on it, or nobody's saying you can't put an American flag on a Space Needle, but you can put the gay pride flag there. Nothing against gay people. Do your thing, but why are you against the American flag? And that shit would piss me off. I mean, we fought for our country, right?
I
Good,
lived
bad, or ugly.
near San Francisco.
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, you know what, you guys don't bass backward laws, here's some more needles. If you need more, we'll give it to you. Go ahead and rob a store. You can steal up to $900 worth of merchandise and you won't go to jail.
Well, shout out to if I wasn't married to my wife, I would marry Omar. Omar, I love you. He's the most flamboyant gay man I've ever loved. He's my future husband. And I say that because it's the first day of Pride Month today.
It's true. That's
So
true.
shout out to he said we should have sex when I said Happy Pride Month. And I said, yeah, we'll have my wife film it. And he was like, she probably would. So shout out to Omar.
Shout out Omar. Great guy.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to go
Sorry
down a
cut you
tangent,
off.
but no.
No, it's West Coast. Oh, did you grow up in Jersey?
No, I'm born and raised out here in Vegas.
Oh, that's right. You told me.
Yeah, my dad was driving through here.
I was riding my bicycle across
You know what?
the
Yeah, go
country,
ahead.
California to New Jersey, and I said, I'm going to come back to Vegas. I could sell some light bulbs. He pops up, so I stick around.
Mr.
for 3
Edison.
years. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
There you go.
Did he pop up or did you pop up?
Were you friends with him, Mr. Edison, or was it?
No, just his light bulbs. I'm old enough, but just his light bulbs.
So my dad kind of glazed over that fact that glazed over.
Glazed.
I'm not sure. Either
Sounded
way.
good to me.
Yeah, it sounds great. He rode his bike across the country. His bicycle, not his motorcycle.
All right, what kind of
His
bicycle?
bicycle.
Oh, you were
A
serious
twin,
about
10
that.
feet.
Yes. He rode it from New Jersey to California. just like Forrest Gump, except with a bike,
but different.
but different.
What was the cause?
Exactly the same, but different.
Cocaine or just?
Well, I was working as a commodities broker, and I needed a break. I had no cocaine, so I went to get some.
So you must have had a real passion behind you.
You were a
like-
commodities broker?
Series 3 licensed, yeah.
Like, was it Wall Street type stuff? Or
Yes.
Oh, so
I
that's
took
gotta
my
be
mom
stressful.
all around the
That's gotta be-
world. Yeah, I was young, so I didn't want to do it. I met some drunk guy on a ski resort, and he said, "Hey, you want a real job?" I said, "Yeah." So he paid for my schooling. I went, made a lot of money, and I'm like, dressing in a suit wasn't for me. So I told my dad, send me my bicycle, and
Is that like a stock, like Series 6, Series 7 stockbroker?
Series 3 commodities.
I don't know what that is.
Yen, copper, cotton,
Gold.
orange juice,
Oh,
gold, silver.
like consuming items.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hedging like corn and stuff.
I got my GED in New Jersey.
Really?
Good enough diploma. That's all.
Yeah.
Good
That's
enough diploma. Yeah.
So you rode your bike, and I say, did you have a purpose? Because I know a veteran that actually wrote a book about walking for PTSD. He walked across like 70% of the country for post-traumatic stress. And I read his book on a plane once, and it brought me to tears because the things that he was expressing and the pain inside of him were literally like what, I mean, I'm on my third marriage. I've lost children, divorces. I was homeless 6 years ago, addicted to drugs, and I'm going on 6 years sober in July. Have a new baby. Like really, I was in jail. I've beat so many things that I shouldn't be here with you guys. That's why I'm so like excited to be here.
That's so amazing. And congratulations on all of that.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
wish my ride was a glimpse, just a fraction of what you went through.
But things affect people in different ways. Like, so you had to have something fueling you.
Okay, so my two friends went on a bike ride the year before, and I was a commodities broker, couldn't make it. And then something for the Statue of Liberty came up to rebuild it and refurbish it, do a bike ride. Nobody really wanted to do it, so I just did it. And it became more about just a personal goal instead of any of that because I couldn't get the backing for other people to join me. So I just rode 175 miles a day, 19 days.
Jesus.
That's it. And I have it all on my phone, every picture.
It literally has so many pictures. So my dad, before YouTube was a thing, I always say that if he had been just a little bit born a little bit later, he would have 10 million followers on YouTube because he was always the guy in 1990 or whatever with the video recorder. 1983 with the video camera filming everything. I have tapes of like everything growing up, and he has his whole like bike ride, like pictures of everything, videos of everything.
You get those digitally formatted and then uploads to YouTube.
They probably do well.
There's a lady that rode across the world from like Netherlands all up through Central America on a motorcycle, and she has like 3 million, 4 million followers on YouTube, and every day she was recording it, going through like Colombia, Mexico, blonde Scandinavian woman by herself, and it's like, and these little towns, and so get that digitized and upload it a video a day or a short. Oh my god!
Have you seen the videos where it will be like driving through a McDonald's drive-through in 1982? Or something on YouTube. Have you seen
I haven't seen that.
And they all have tons of views. It's like just random stuff that people have on video cameras that they got digitized and put on there. And it'll be the most random things like going to a skating rink in 1974.
Yep.
And they'll just upload it to YouTube, some old footage, and it will have 3 million views. It's interesting.
Yeah.
There's an Instagram page that has like 1 million plus followers, and that's all it is.
Wow.
It'll show black and white from 1901 in New York in color, and it's like no sound really. They'll put like some music.
No. I've seen that.
Yes.
Like they added color to it, and it's when they had the horse and buggies and shit.
Yeah.
It's like wow. It's just watching.
Just
that.
interesting.
And people are looking at the camera like it's an alien. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like guys walking. He's
Stealing
like,
your soul.
And they got the train track and then the horse and buggy on the same road.
Yeah, those are times that you can't get back. One of my best friends I grew up with, Chris, he's coming out to Vegas for a convention. I haven't seen him in 20 years. So I went in the Army in 05 and like just kind of never went back to Jersey, except for like visiting. But we used to film stuff kind of like you did back in the day. And there's one video where I'm doing a dunk contest on the little hoop with my friends and my brother. And I dunk it and I'm like, this is a 10. And my brother's like 5. And I'm like, you keep fucking me over. And he goes, I'm not fucking you over. You fucking suck. And I want that video so bad, dude. I can't wait to get those videos next week.
Oh, that's going to be
That would be
awesome.
cool. I think you still, 61 is the new 30 now, right?
Yeah,
you look like
at
you're in
least.
incredible shape.
I'm trying to be.
He's in good shape. He's got a little knee injury right now that he's dealing with. But besides that, I mean, he was training 25 hours a week in jiu-jitsu. He's training more than anybody else there at 60 years old, which is crazy.
And then I rented an Uber, and it took off before I got out of the car. and drug me.
And pop his knee.
Yeah,
I just
both of them.
gave a guy, wrapped a tourniquet around a guy on my way here. A guy crashed his motorcycle in an intersection, and I hopped out, hazards, stopped all the traffic, wrapped this dude's leg, put him in my front seat. But when I found out he wasn't like bleeding to death or not, I was like, "You're good, dude.
Get out."
Yeah, and then paramedics came.
Wait, you're not
Yeah, I'm a war vet.
Wait,
If you're not like,
on the way here?
yeah, I got a video.
Wait, today? Today, right
This
now?
is right
That's
before I
crazy.
came. I got a video.
And we just said when we came in, we're late because we were pulling people out of cars because there were crashes. We were making that up. But
Yeah,
he
look-
really did it.
Vegas is just.
Look, right there.
Yeah,
There
that
it
was the
is.
guy on the way here.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Look at him.
I was like, how lucky are you to almost die in front of me? Because I'm going to save you. You know?
That's a video.
I'm going to strap you up.
That's
Hold your
pretty
tongue.
crazy. You can post that on TikTok right now and put a little caption on it. Say, I saved this guy from this thing and this would happen or whatever.
Boom.
3 million views.
What a
TikTok's great,
great
man.
thing.
Yeah, I had a
I'm
pretty
biased.
big following.
It doesn't like me.
In 2021, I just met my now wife, or we just started dating. We were already friends a few years, and I had like 40,000 middle-aged women from like Oklahoma following me.
Awesome.
And she didn't like it, you know. So at the time, I deleted that TikTok.
Yeah, he
like,
was Magic Mike of Oklahoma.
Yeah, I was.
That's
In
a lot.
Oklahoma, he's a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cowboy hat, the boots on.
Your TikTok is blowing up. So tell me about what you've been going on. I mean, I was super excited to look, not just to meet you, but like I'm proud to see that what I want to do is possible because I've never been in this world. Like being an Army guy from Jersey, like being through all the things I've been through. You hear all like the inspirational quotes of like, you know, podcasts about purpose. Like I'm legitimately like shouldn't be here. So to see people in that world like being successful, I look at it as like it can be done instead of like a jealousy or I want something. I look like, damn, I can do it too. So like, when did you like get into the? I mean, you weren't where you obviously you're still growing, but you're pretty massive now. When did you make that thing in your head where it's like, I'm not going to go be a chiropractor. This is what I want to do. You know?
Why? Because he's a massage therapist?
He
Is that
was.
what-
Yeah.
He's a certified massage.
I'm also a
therapist.
massage therapist.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I will say a couple things. I think that I like what you said about the whole it's inspiring and it shows you that you can do things, right? Because I think that there's two types of people, in my opinion, and you know, whatever, take it with a grain of salt or whatever. But I think there's most of the time there's two types of people. Either you see somebody who's doing something successfully and you go, man, why that guy? Like that's like he sucks or whatever. You could be envious, or you could say, interesting, I could do that too, right? And you could either be envious or inspired. So I feel like I've always been more inspired by things than envious of things, I guess. In addition to that, I think growing up, my dad's always been like very a personable guy. He always had a video camera on me as well, so I got very used to like the whole cameras and stuff. I don't care about that. It's not something that will make me shut down or perk up or whatever. I think it's just a thing, which is a good place to be. And growing up out here in Vegas, my dad took me to every convention that you can think of, like every week. And I grew up going to conventions, and he would hand me a stack of business cards and be like, "Hey, Pat, go around and hand these all out until they're gone, and shake everybody's hand."
Look in their eye.
Shake their hand, give them a business card, and when the stack of cards is done, you can come back here. We'll go get lunch or whatever it is. So I grew up talking to a lot of people, and so the camera didn't bother me. Talking to a lot of people didn't really bother me, and so it was just kind of very natural for me to get into the whole social media stuff. In 2009, I graduated from high school. I'm 31 years old, and when I was 18, 19, I really didn't know what I was doing, but I was playing a lot of Call of Duty because I was playing with my friends in high school. And so after I graduated, I wasn't really sure where to go with it, but I found on YouTube people were making gaming content, and I thought at first that it was only like the developers or the people who ran the companies that were allowed to make this. I didn't know if it was like copyrighted or trademarked. I didn't know how it worked. But upon finding out that anybody could do it, I started making videos on YouTube. From there, I always say that I'm a professional gamer. I guess professionally, I made money from gaming by posting content onto YouTube, and I've competed and won some money in tournaments here and there. Easiest way to describe it is professional gamers, but for any pro gamers out there, they would say I'm not a pro gamer because there's levels to it, but they would say that my profession is gaming, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's your genre, yeah.
That's what I did to make money, but like there's people who play. I was playing in like the D League, I guess, and more on the entertainment side, whereas the guys that I know that I'm friends with that are pro gamers are like basically in the NBA of professional gaming, right? So there is levels.
Like Mighty Mouse, doesn't he do some?
Mighty Mouse, he does. So he plays games, but I don't believe that he is a professional gamer. I think that he's very good at gaming, but from what I know, he's not like a professional, as in a professional Call of Duty player where they're making.
They're not Tiger Woods.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. You
what
play
would
golf, but
consider-
you're not fucking Tiger Woods.
Right.
What would be considered a professional gamer in your description?
So in my description, a professional gamer is somebody who like plays at the highest level for a gaming organization like Optic or FaZe Clan, any of these guys, where these guys are signed to the roster, they're bringing home a salary, they're making $1 million a year from playing games professionally against other professionals and, winning in tournaments and stuff. For me, when I say I'm a professional gamer, I mean I've made money from playing video games.
I'm sure you had fun doing it.
Right. So it's just a slightly different thing. So I went down that path for a while. And then in 2018, I did YouTube and all this stuff. And then in 2018, I started doing, or I was on the very first Logan Paul versus KSI, Jake Paul versus Deji boxing event, which was in Manchester. We sold out the Manchester arena. I think that the capacity there is 21,000, but we actually had 22,000 people in the arena.
Packed out.
Which is crazy.
Packed
Were you there,
Yeah.
Dad?
Was I there? Do you mind if I
please.
interject? I was working, rubbing somebody's feet. He says, Dad, I want to be a boxer.
I didn't really want to be a boxer,
He
but I
said,
had to
Dad,
be at the time.
I'm going to box in a main arena. And I said, you don't even know how to box. He says,
not at all.
but I do jujitsu. And I'm like, yeah, but you got to box. So
All right, I gotta say something.
Wait, you gotta look
Wait,
jiu-jitsu
that's
guys.
what
We're
happened.
like,
That's
I
what
don't
happened.
care.
Why not?
Because if I get him on the ground, no, it's boxing. I don't care. I'm gonna get him on the ground.
Hold on. Oh, that's a good point you just brought
That's a great
up.
point. We're gonna come back to it. I have to say
Okay.
this. I have to add asterisks to what he's saying. Okay, because he goes like this.
Never right.
No. I just not that you're not right. I just want to add an asterisk to what you're saying, and I want to say this. I do jiu-jitsu was not so I can box. It was this. On the KSI versus Logan Paul, Jake Paul versus Deji event, they were the only two people taking the fight seriously. Everybody else was from the gaming community. So it's kind of like for an entertainment. It was supposed to be a one-off event.
Like a smoker boxer for the army or
So
whatnot.
you knew, being an athlete and a jiu-jitsu guy, that you were going to whoop whoever it was because they weren't just going to be a gamer? Or...
Incorrect.
Oh, wait.
Incorrect.
Whoa,
no.
Whoa. You would
Incorrect.
think that. But
you would
that's
think
what
that.
You think that.
But totally the opposite. I fought the guy who was KSI's boxing coach at the time.
Oh, my God.
Right? So
Yeah. I
love
and
it.
his
It
name
was
is
bad.
FaZe Sensei. Shout out to you, buddy.
FaZe Sensei.
So I fought the guy who was training KSI at the time, but what it did was it helped legitimize the whole event because FaZe Sensei, everybody has a funny name, right? Overtflow, FaZe Sensei, KSI. These are all not real names. I'm from the gaming community, right? So we all have like these a stage name, if you will. But it helped legitimize the event because FaZe Sensei and I were the only legitimate martial artists on the event at all, right? Logan, KSI, Jake Paul, all these guys just started doing boxing for this event. Me and Sensei were already doing martial arts. So it kind of helped the whole thing look a little bit better. The optics of it was like, okay, they got some legitimate people on here. They got some famous people on here. Obviously, Logan and KSI and Jake all took it very seriously. So it kind of just helped make the overall event a little bit more...
Yeah, you guys were the opening opening bout,
Yes.
right?
No,
First
we were...
one.
No. We were fifth, I think, fourth out of 7 fights.
Oh.
How many
Yes.
how many rounds did you go with him?
3 minutes, or three minutes, I think.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
But you already had your cardio in because you're a jiu-jitsu guy.
At the time, actually, I was doing a lot of. I was kind of at the height of making content, and so I was really not doing a lot of jiu-jitsu, not really doing a lot of training. I actually lost 50 pounds to fight on that because I was just sitting behind my freaking gaming setup, uploading YouTube videos. So
Wow.
yeah.
And you didn't mention that the other guy boxed before.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah, he was KSI's boxing coach, but he's been training martial arts, striking martial arts since he was 4 years old because his dad owns
shit.
like all the gyms in Boston.
So did he sweat at all, or
No. He punched me in the liver.
No, here's what happened.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's
right here?
That's not
You can
exactly-
play the clip. It was very popular.
You get him once
You should
though.
play it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, you get a liver punch,
Hit it.
bro. That's
Oh, you know
not-
what?
Liver punch, you get hit, you just stand there for a second.
It was in the last 6 seconds.
Here comes the pain.
I want to share something.
I got
He
kicked
probably
there.
doesn't want me
I also
to,
threw
but-
some jujitsu in the
Yeah,
mix.
here's what happened.
But go ahead. Okay, so that was my asterisk. Sorry it took so long. Now go ahead with.
Just his mic.
no, what happened was
Make sure you speak into the mic.
I told him to
Yes.
go take some boxing lessons lessons. He said, Dad, please let me do what I do. So he went into the main arena, Manchester Arena, where people just pray to box, right?
Yeah.
Boxers want to be in there. He just walks in and actually boxes in there, which is a shock in itself. So he's fighting this boxer, and the guy punches my son right in the eye. Right in the eye. Can you believe that? So I told him, you know, I'm the corner guy. I was the corner guy on national TV, and the guy's like, this is a real corner guy. You could tell by the way he is. I wasn't a corner guy. But I told Faye Sensei, don't ever punch my son in the eye again. And he said, Mr. Britton, I slipped. So then he punches him in the liver. And that's how he TKO'd him. But before that, my son goes out there to box, and he takes Faye Sensei, throws him down on the ground. The whole audience is booing my son because he pulls jujitsu in a boxing match, and they're like, wrestling in a boxing match?
Hey, mate, what are you doing, mate?
What's bloody crumpets?
Crikey.
It was all over the news that night at the hotel room.
My mom said I can do jiu-jitsu in a boxing match.
So I understand that I cheated, you know, and
Unbelievable.
it went super viral, which was kind of the intent. That whole thing was supposed to be a one-off, and now it's evolved into this whole other thing with Jake Paul and all these guys. But back then when we did this, it was supposed to be a one-off event. And so really, I was trying to get the most like views or clout or whatever possible out of it. So during the fight, obviously me and Faye Sensei we're actually friends. We are friends to this day. I had film videos and content with him in the past. We're both from the same community on YouTube. And so when we actually did the boxing match, he had a couple opponents that are still big on YouTube that are named guys that you would know that ended up turning down the fight with him. So I called him up. I called JJ. I called KSI. I was living with Keemstar at the time, who's like a big internet channel. He hosts Drama Alert. So he does like all the TMZ style news for all the YouTubers. So I was living with him at the time. I called up Sensei and all these guys, and I said, hey, I know like you have opponents that are pulling out, so I'll do it. But to be fair, he kind of understood, like it's like I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. It's like some guy who's a white belt agreeing to fight me because nobody else will. So I think that he kind of respected the fact like
that's gangster.
Yeah, he respected that, and I don't think that he was going in there with the intention to like kill me, right?
Gotcha.
So I kind of had that a little bit in my head, which is nice. I threw him down onto the ground, onto the ring, and I demonstrated a little bit of the power of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Just so you know. And also, here's the thing. It doesn't matter whether the crowd was upset with me or not. All that matters is that I made them feel something. You know, and that thing was super viral for a while. We had the most viewed highlights of the whole event for like at least a year, right, until the next KSI boxing matches came about, and now it's normal. But for that first year, we had the most highlighted, most viewed fight of that whole event, which is cool.
Jeez.
It was exciting.
How did you get into that world? Just through jiu-jitsu and being in Vegas, just networking? Like, you have a personality just like me. I think that's why we were talking shit when we first met and having a good time. My type of personality has always been good. I'm outgoing. I love people. I'm not, ego. I don't judge anybody.
Good looking though, right?
Beautiful.
Good looking.
Beautiful.
No
These
ego.
eyes? Are you kidding?
Look at him.
So you were just, I guess, set yourself up for success being around. My dad used to say, like, if you hang around garbage cans, you're going to turn into a garbage can. True. So is that what you did? You hung around real good people and eventually got to, be a part of like an event like that? Because it sounds to me, the guy who knows nothing, it's like, how the hell did you even get in that world?
So it's kind of like being part of the club in a way, right? Because I've been making gaming content for so long that I know all these guys. You know who Mr. Beast is?
Yeah.
One of my friends. Talk to him whenever I want. I used to be in Skype calls with him all the time back in the day, like brainstorming content, just because I've been around for so long.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like, oh, this guy, yeah, I went to high school with him. I still talk to him like, once a month or whatever. It's kind of like, because we're all from those OG days of YouTube, we're all kind of like boys, So I already had, at the time, I had 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. That was my only platform. And the guy that I fought had 400,000 subscribers on YouTube, right? So, and we were both part of the same community. And if you don't know, the whole boxing community, the whole YouTube boxing thing is kind of like almost split down the middle between people who are from the gaming community and people who are from the real life vlogging community. So like Logan Paul, Jake Paul, those guys were on Disney. They had all the real life stuff going on. Then the other half of that, the other side of that coin is guys like KSI or Deji or FaZe Clan, FaZe Sensei, FaZe Temper, me. We all came from the gaming community. We're all kind of like a little bit on the like jock side, bro side of gaming. So it's not like the League of Legends, Super Smash Brothers type of people. It's more, I play Call of Duty, like real gamers.
Like, you'll play some beer pong and jump in the pool off the deck.
Right. Like real
Gotcha.
gamers never looked at Call of Duty as they looked at it as like the very casual, like, oh, you play like with your bros on the weekend,
Bro
then you
side.
probably go out to a party. Like that's how they looked at it, right? So
Which was kind of true, right?
which is kind of true. Yeah, that's why a lot of the guys you see in the Call of Duty community, like once they started making money from it, they had a Lamborghini and they had like designer clothes and they were athletes that got involved in the boxing thing. They're kind of a little bit on that side of like more bros.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
that makes sense. You know, not in a mean
It's
way.
a good old boys club.
So yeah, so because I was involved in all that, and then the boxing thing came about, I was just in a perfect position to place myself in an event of that magnitude. Especially at the time, I was really big in the Call of Duty community, so it was kind of a no-brainer for them to throw me on the card if I wanted to be. You know,
I'm proud of you.
thank you.
I think that's great.
He actually turns down. I'm in shock. I'm in the car driving with him. He gets a phone call. He says, "Dad, got to grab it," and they're asking him to box, and I'm like, "Take it, take it." He sucks, right? Right? He's
go
like,
fuck
"Well,
him."
Dad, I don't feel like taking this one." I'm like, "Take it," but he gets quite a few calls, I think.
Yeah, I probably get like 1 or 2 fight offers a month for, you know, I've had offers from anywhere from like $5,000 to $150,000.
You know what's crazy about that? And I'm not knocking them, but it's amazing that, and not just discrediting you, you're going to get an offer like that, and you got these guys in the UFC that get $6K, $5K a fight.
Yeah,
I'm not judging. I'm not hating on anybody, but it's amazing. And I'm thinking to myself, my son, you know, he grew up doing jiu-jitsu with me, right? And then he's like, "Dad, should I do jiu-jitsu?" I'm like, "No." My grandfather was a middleweight champion, and he's in the Hall of Fame, right? 142 fights.
Wow.
124 wins, 60 by knockout. Middleweight champion. I said, box. You're going to make more money. It's not about the money, but it is about the money. You're in MMA. You got 4-ounce gloves. You're getting kicked in the shin and the head. Kidney punch. I mean, that's a deadly sport, granted. But you're getting, not discrediting him,
I know what you're saying.
you're getting $10K a fight, and you got these guys, these UFC guys. One of them was in here. These guys were fighting for their lives just to make $10K.
Yeah, but they're only 3 years, 24 months.
No,
into the
and
game.
I'm not saying you
He's
should
got
take
12
it.
years.
I'm not saying you should take it, but it's amazing how it's not discrediting boxing or Jake Paul. I mean, it's going to this entertainment level where it's almost like these guys are getting more than these UFC champions.
Well, there's a reason, because that's a good point you brought up. We talk about it all the time. What's happening is in boxing, it's more like just the physical boxing. I'm going to beat you at boxing. What the influencers are bringing is the stardom and the lights and the
Their
flash and the
entertainment.
glitz. The entertainment, which you
The
said.
household name.
Right, there you go.
Because we don't know household names. You know, it's like Joe Rogan, household name. But if I say to my girlfriend, Mr. Beast, who? Now on the internet, YouTube, the guy's got 50 million. I mean, he's the man. He was the originator, right? OG. But it's amazing how if you brought him, and obviously he doesn't need it, but say, "Hey, Mr. Beast, we want to have you in a boxing match," and he's like training for it. That thing would make more money than the heavyweight championship of the world. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, and he probably wouldn't do it for less than $10 million. You know what I mean?
Well, didn't he get offered like $1 billion from was it from Elon?
I don't know exactly, but it was
got
something like
offered
that,
a
and it's like not.
But
Yeah,
he's
it doesn't
not
make
even
sense.
about
Not feasible. Hell
he's
no.
not even about the money. He's so beyond that, though. He impacts people's lives.
That guy
changes
feeds
the
more
world.
people than some countries.
Isn't that amazing?
He's dope.
And he got ridiculed for helping blind people.
Oh yeah, the internet will find any way to make anything bad, though. You know what I mean? It's
crazy.
just like how it is. But yeah, I've known Mr. Beast forever. I used to be in like
love to have that
phone
guy.
calls with him like Skype calls back in the day, and because I was part of the same community.
Funny Skype calls. Remember Skype?
Skype calls
And
back in the day.
You still have a VCR, right?
Right? But like 20 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. There's like a group of us from the gaming community, because that's where Mr. Beast is from. He's from he made Call of Duty videos, right? So we all kind of got together and brainstormed, how can we get more subscribers? How can we do this? So we would be on calls, right? And I wasn't on calls with him every day like some of these guys like Exility or some of these guys who other people will know. I wasn't on every day, but I was part of that same kind of group where we talked about, what if we gave away, like, let's all put our money together, give away like 3 PlayStations this month, all right? We'll give away a few PlayStations. And so we did, and we gained, 30,000 subscribers that day, which was massive. And it just kept going to the point where, let's give away 10 PlayStations for Christmas this year. And then Mr. Beast just kept taking it until, okay, now we have enough to buy a car, let's give away a car. And he just kept going and going and going. And that's where he got, that's the first steps to where he gets to giving away an island or $1 million. Because when I gave away, I would spend $5,000 a month giving away like Fortnite V-Bucks cards, right? Where you can buy in-game items. So like V-Bucks card, you give it to a kid, it's got 2,000 points on it or whatever, 2,000 V-Bucks, they can buy a new costume for their character in the game. But when I would give away $5,000 worth of V-Bucks, that month I might make $25,000, right? So it's easy for you to keep putting it back into the company. I have a friend who has maybe $4 or $5 million in the bank. Each month he makes maybe $3 million. But each month he gives away $2.5 million. But nobody would ever advise you to do that.
Like Steve will do it, kind of, right?
Well, but it's also a tax.
Yeah, I would never say the name of the person that I was just talking about.
Yeah.
I would never say his name.
Well, I'm not saying that's who it is.
No, I would never say that's who it was either.
No.
He's on Rumble now.
Shout out to Steve will do it.
Great guy.
He's on Rumble now. YouTube booted him, so he's on Rumble.
What a sweet guy. I actually FaceTimed my wife when I was with him, and she was like, "Hey, what's up, honey?" And I was like,
Dude, how do you guys know these guys?
He's a great guy.
I know the guy that picks up my trash. That's it, right?
I go to the UFC a lot.
Yeah.
Never been there. Yeah, I was telling you. I haven't been.
Yeah.
That's what it's good for, right? Meeting people like that and being part of an event. So other than that, you got to watch the fights at home.
Yes.
So I have a question for you. Obviously, you're successful in what you do. And I talk to people because I want to get their feedback. This is data that I use. And you had somebody kind of guiding you, mentoring you, your father. How many times did you fail before you were successful?
Ooh, I actually enjoy this question because I realized very recently, maybe in the last couple years, I'm 31, and it took me until very recently when I was working with some other influencers / creators and people in general. I realized that a lot of people look at a lot of things as failures, which is crazy to me.
I say fail forward.
No, for sure. Fail forward is a great way to describe it. I just never really thought about if a video didn't work or if an idea didn't work. I never thought about it like it failed, but I ran into a lot of people, especially lately, that are like, bro, this didn't work. Let's just go home.
No.
And it's like, wait, what? That's just my first try, bro.
All the time.
That's just my first try out of about 50 ideas that I have.
Yeah.
I never have looked at things as failures, and that is I think that's maybe just a mental thing that I've always had. I swear to you.
No, I believe you.
I've never been like, oh, that failed.
So this is where I'm going with this.
Same.
Because the more adversity someone goes through in life, the more successful they become.
That's why I'm going to be a beast.
That's right. And it's the mindset. You're right. You're right. Because the trust fund kids have a lot of money, but they never succeed. And success is for me, success is defined as quality of time and money, right? I know a lot of people make a ton of money and you never see them. They never see their kids. I know people that got a lot of time that are broke, right? Yeah. And if you can control both, figure that out, right? If you got that passive revenue, the YouTube, the gaming, the whatever you're doing, and then you have time with your father, your children, your wife, your kids.
I'm so wealthy right now. I get to see my little girl every day.
That's what I'm talking about.
I have an 8-year-old daughter who was taken from me.
So here's my point.
I just couldn't afford the court stuff. So to have another little girl whose due date was on, I found out on my birthday we were having a daughter, and then her due date was Christmas. It was like,
that's awesome.
The good Lord's like, we're giving
awesome.
you
right on, man.
Back,
that is such good news.
Not to cut you off.
No, absolutely not.
But yeah, I'm rich as hell.
But that's my point. is I know when you said all this stuff that's happening to your son and how successful he is, and you're talking about him. It's like, okay, this guy overcame adversity so many times because you cannot be. You have to. I don't want to say failure because I agree with what you're saying, but you have to overcome adversity. And you didn't look at it as a failure, right? You're that soldier in the field on a different battlefield in life. It's like, ooh, you know what? It didn't work. I'm going to do this. So you didn't quit. There's no quit in your family. Your dad rode a bike. I don't want to ride a bike to the mailbox. I drive, right? I'm ambitiously lazy. I find the shortcuts. How do I get from A to B without riding the bike. But my point is that you were successful because you overcame adversity in life and challenges. And the more adversity and challenges you overcome, the closer you get to the finish line. And that's why you're going to be so huge. And you are huge. You're a hero to your kids, your wife, and what you're doing. And your father, he can look up to you as a son and say, look what my son's done, and look what your father's done. You know what I mean? That's huge.
He's become my mentor, actually. He's like this. I got to share with you what you just said kind of encompasses what he does. He'll say, hey, Dad, I'm going to a convention next week. There's going to be 20,000 people there or 100,000 people there. And when he gets there, he said, Dad, there's only a couple thousand people here. And I'm like, oh, is that bad? And he says, no, that's great. I could talk to everybody. Like wherever he goes, if it's not the best,
mindset. It's your mindset.
He just goes with it.
Do you think you got that mindset from your father?
Oh, 1,040%.
Hats off to you.
I could tell as soon as we met because he said, you literally, maybe it's a Jersey thing, said something that I say all the time. Literally. Like if I see like a good looking guy, I'm like, God damn, I'm glad my wife's not here. Yeah. And you said that to me. And I was like, yes. Yes. Everybody else leave. It's me and you.
But the other thing too, and people don't give you credit, and I don't know you that well, but I do know one thing. A black belt in jiu-jitsu, that's moxie. That's swag without getting the swag. People don't realize the average person, it's a black belt. No. Let me explain something. A black belt in jiu-jitsu, that's boss. That takes a lot of injuries. That takes a lot of determination. And when people get involved in it, they're like, oh my God. Yeah, you take a blue belt against, you know what I mean? A black belt in Tang Soo Do, Taekwondo, Kung Fu, nothing against them. Those guys end up on the ground, they're done. With a blue belt in jiu-jitsu.
I would absolutely demolish black belt in Taekwondo, especially if they were like 12.
Right.
Easy.
Well, but we know to avoid the kicks, right?
Yeah.
That's what we got to watch out for. And then judo guys, okay, judo, different deal. Like, I don't want to stand up with a judo guy, right? But my point is this. How many years of jiu-jitsu?
Since 2007.
15.
15, 17, right? 18?
Oh, so you're
34.
16?
Two-stripe?
No. I just got my black belt last year. I just got it exactly a year ago, actually. Exactly 1 year ago.
Yeah.
Sandbagger?
Yeah, I was sandbagging for a long time. I was pretending to be like really good.
Curious.
You know?
No, but
You're a black belt.
No, I'm not. No.
You look like one.
No, well, hey, thanks.
You look like one.
Thanks. Well, I got a girlfriend. It's okay.
Oh.
No, but no.
You got a huge cock.
No. I did the MMA and then freestyle grappling, and then at the end I took formal jiu-jitsu. So I got to 3-stripe blue, right? Ooh. But I was the guy.
3-stripe blue is tough work
excellent.
Too. But it was like the first 9 months as a white belt, I was getting my ass handed to me. Destroyed because I was playing checkers.
Right.
I wasn't playing chess. I'm like, and it's like, 150-pound dude, nerd from Microsoft was tapping me out. I'm like, I was just pissed.
It's so upsetting when you see that guy out on the street, right? It's so upsetting. You're like, wait, this is the guy that's been terrorized?
And I got him in the arm bar.
He's got a hacky sack.
How did he get out of the arm bar? He's bringing a Rubik's Cube to freaking training, literally. I'm like, and my professor, he's like, Davrick, man, you're playing checkers, my friend. You need to play chess. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He said, man, you got muscles, but you're not thinking, you're thinking here, not here. And so then he took me on some Saturday special training. Flow, and I started learning, and it's like, like the whole Bruce Lee, the best offense is defense, and thinking and relaxing and breathing and all this stuff. And then it's like, okay, here we go. He's going to do this. I need to counter and set up for that. So I admire what he's done. Because a black belt, man, how many injuries on the way to a black belt?
A bajillion. A Brazilian.
A Brazilian.
Classic.
And how long you been training for?
So what I did is I signed him up 15 years ago to try to give him some mentorship from another fatherly figure. Mika was the greatest thing. He was like a fatherly figure in that arena. I was a single dad. So Mika, he went in there to train with him, and I signed up. And then I quit just because he stayed.
He baited me.
I baited him.
So you were like, man, this kid's just playing. All he does is play Call of Duty. I got to get him out of the house.
Hey, you know what? That's a good thing. Look what happened. So
I walked in and it says discipline, loyalty, respect. I said everything I want.
I'm looking at your dad's hands. It's like I'd hate those things to get on my collar.
Oh my goodness.
Collar. He's not letting go. Those are claws.
Look at my hands and his. Let's see these on the camera. Put your hand up. Look, I don't know when I'm going to grow up. I'm 31 years old. When am I going to get my adult hands? Dude?
No.
When we're talking about dads and hands, you guys kind of spoke about something before the cameras were on.
Oh, no.
Did you want to speak about that?
Same thing.
There's another dad that you mentioned.
Oh, Mika.
Mika.
You.
No, a dad in the boxing community.
People listen to this. Pay attention, people. Pay attention.
Go ahead.
I will fight the schmo, even though I love the schmo.
The schmo.
If,
You
we'll
will
do it
fight
together.
the schmo.
All right, guys, I'm just going to break it to you right here. Here's the news. All right, we are currently planning a match right now. It's currently in the works. People are being talked to, and this is being talked about. Greg Paul versus my father in the arena. So everybody is into the whole YouTube boxing, right? We got Jake Paul, all these guys. My dad and Greg Paul, both of the same age, both country boys, both would prefer to do MMA. This only makes sense. We'll put it under Happy Punch, right? Put it on Misfits, MVP Promotions, whatever you want to do. We can figure this out. I think it'd be great. Old Man Rumble, right? I love it.
I think it's a great idea.
Does his dad do MMA?
He trains. I'm not sure entirely what. I've seen him doing a little bit of like hitting pads and all that stuff. I just know that he's been talking about doing it for a long time. And I think that it would be a perfect matchup. And it makes sense because we're both from this YouTube boxing community. And what other dad is the same age as Greg Paul that's willing to get in there with some skill set behind him? You know, it only makes sense.
It's true. Willing to eat raw liver. Yeah.
What's a dad?
I think it needs to happen.
They both eat raw liver. They both
Greg
eat raw
Paul.
liver.
Do you guys
That's
have
all.
Do you guys have beef? Prior beef?
No, not at all. I just
besides
met him
the
once
liver.
in Manchester, or I met his sons. I walked in their locker room during the fight.
okay.
That's it.
So friendly,
we'll
competitive.
manufacture some beef, or they can figure it out. You know, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I know that the young bucks are a little bit more wild in the field of battle than probably the older gentlemen will be with each other. I don't know, but it's something that could be figured out. I think it makes sense for an MMA. Maybe
I think it'd be
put a-
pretty exciting.
put
Very
together a
exciting.
full MMA card.
I got your back, Dad.
I'm
Let's
going to
go.
start doing some
gotta call it
push-ups and boxing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So what's next for you before you get out of here? What do you got going on right now?
What I have going on. Hold on one second, Father. Hey, Dad. What time was your thing at?
4:15.
It's at 4:15.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so I got like 5 minutes and then we'll get out of here. But as of right now, I just came back from London. We did a 20,000 person arena over there, Wembley Arena, for KSI versus Joe Fournier.
Congrats again on that, brother.
Amazing. I ran half of it with Keemstar for Happy Punch. So we did all the preliminary fights, which is a new thing for the YouTube boxing space. I know in UFC that's a normal thing, but for us it was the first time that we ever did this, and we were put fully in charge of it. So Happy Punch ran the whole prelims, 4 fights, which funneled into the pay-per-view, same model you see with the UFC. And then half of the main card was our fighters that are signed to Happy Punch. Did extremely well. I don't know what the whole event, I wouldn't be surprised if the event has 1 billion views across platforms on it, probably somewhere in that range. And because of that, they actually put us in charge of this upcoming event, which is going to be in the US. I'm not sure how much of this is public yet, but everybody already knows that we're doing one event in the UK, one event in the US, back and forth. So now me and Keem are fully going to be running this event that is coming up this summer in the US.
Nice.
So that's the next thing that I'm working on. And I think it's public information that it is going to be in Nashville. So that's my next project that I'm working on.
Yeah,
and I
but-
might even be fighting on it. We don't know yet.
You didn't even mention the chess boxing, which I think was the most amazing fight you've ever done. I think so.
It was fun. So I fought 3 times. I fought in 2018. I fought in November last year, and then I fought in December last year. In December, I fought on something called Mogul Moves Chess Boxing. Chess boxing is a thing that apparently is big in India and France and Eastern Europe. Get this, it's very interesting.
Very
right?
exciting.
Very exciting. More exciting than you might think.
Like,
Edge of the seat exciting.
You get into the ring. We did this in front of 10,000 people, by the way. You get into the ring. They lower a chessboard down. You play 1 round of chess, 2 minutes. Then they bring the chessboard up. You put on your boxing gloves. You box for 2 minutes.
Okay.
You go back and forth.
Wait a minute.
Biggest payday in the world.
How are they taking the gloves off when they tape the gloves?
They don't tape them for this. It's considered exhibition, I believe. So they don't tape them. They let you use Velcro gloves that are checked, obviously, by the commissioner.
Okay, so if somebody gets knocked out and
They
you're,
lose.
and
They lose
you're a
again.
shitty chess player,
Yeah.
Checkmate or KO.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's so dope.
It was actually really fun. You can watch it. It has like 4 million views.
Have you heard of
I
Fight
gotta watch
Circus?
it.
Yes.
No.
I had the guy that runs Fight Circus. Have you heard of it?
No.
That's where, like, in Thailand, there'll be like 4 little
Yes.
people fighting 2 transgenders.
Like Rampage.
Wait,
Yes, I saw
what?
that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Was
yes.
it Rampage and Bob Sapp that just did the sign?
Yeah, they just
fight?
announced that. Yep.
So,
Oh, no, they already did that.
They did it, right?
Yep.
So, you know Rampage
Jackson, yeah.
and Bob Sapp, both 2 massive like MMA stars.
Yeah.
They put on a big shirt. They got inside a
Together.
big shirt together, and they both had one arm, and they went and they boxed somebody else for. Was it 2 guys that they boxed, or what was it?
I just saw the clip of it.
I just know that.
But they
it was
went hard.
hilarious.
They-
So Fight Circus is just like
A circus.
a circus. There we go.
They do musical
Hilarious.
chairs, and whoever doesn't sit down has to fight.
It's
They
just
do all
funny stuff
kinds of
like that.
stuff.
I'd get my ass kicked in chest. I'd have to try to knock the dude out.
Yeah, it's wild.
Well, he might get so frazzled that he'll forget his moves.
Yeah,
what
that's
happens.
the thing. It's
But
such
I'm not,
a.
I
get
don't know.
frazzled.
I don't. My brain doesn't work with chess. I can do it on the jiu-jitsu match, but sitting there like, hey, wait a minute. What am I? I can't think that far ahead.
It's even tougher to work when you're punching somebody or getting punched. It's
Yeah,
like
right.
you like go from such a physical thing to like
But you know what?
like interesting.
I think a
That's
jiu-jitsu
You
guy
gotta
can
watch
handle
it.
it
I can't wait.
yes, it's
because
true.
we stay calm.
I'm calm most of the time.
I lose my mind. That's that jersey. I'm gonna run you
Jersey.
over.
Jersey.
I'm gonna take
I'm
your
like,
garbage
what?
out, bitch. So I'm really excited that you guys came. I had a blast. Not that I didn't think I was gonna, but like I honestly, there's a lot of, and you probably get it. Like you said, you get a lot of phone calls, a lot of clout people, a lot of it. I'm literally just coming in to build like genuine relationships with people because I enjoy this shit. For 20 years, I've been watching this world. I just happen to have a uniform on, and I wasn't capable of partaking.
Well, thanks
I was
for
e-
serving, brother.
Yeah, you as well.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
you know, going through everything that I've gone through, I'm so excited to be here.
And you have a great voice.
Thank you
for this.
Well, you know how I
Very
got here, real
pleasant.
quick. I know you got to go.
I want to know.
I was living in a camper trailer off of Nellis Boulevard at the Las Vegas RV Resort. I was going to film school with my GI Bill because they pay you to go to school, a little bit of money. And I was living in this fifth wheel camper, miserable. And I was like, you know, watching you, didn't even have enough money to like get a pay-per-view. This is like 2021. And I tell my wife, and I'm like, I have to make a change. I have to do something. And I went to the store and I got a piece of cardboard, and I made a cardboard sign that said, Uncle Dana, Iraq vet, let me watch the fights. And I went out and stood outside of the UFC Apex headquarters, and security came and got me, and they took a picture of me, and they were like, no. One of the guys who's a friend of mine now for the last couple of years, he's in security or was, he sent a picture to Dana, and Dana was like, get that kid in here. And I went in, hung out with Dana. He's like, you're coming to the fights tonight?
What?
And then he literally, I sat with Dana cage side. He asked my wife, you having fun? And she goes, we've never been to a fight. And he goes, you what? We got a pay-per-view Saturday. Hey, get them there. And we just kept coming back. And
That's how you do it.
You gotta get Dana
That's
on
how you
here.
do it. That's how
You
you
gotta
do
get
it.
Dana on here.
I will. But the owner of all this, John, is friends with Dana.
Yeah.
And he was, during COVID, it was only like Dana's people. So I'm like this, like, I'm very like out of place in my brain, and I see all these people. I'm like, who the fuck are they? You know, so I start like finding these guys on Instagram. One of them was the owner of this place, John, and I was like, I don't know who you are, dude, but like you're killing it. Obviously, whatever I said, I just tried to get in his pants, you know. And 2 years later, like he calls me and says, hey, come back and host Fight Junkeez for me. You know, he saw me literally having $20 and feeding. I probably fed 500 homeless people in Vegas. When I literally have like $10, and I'd be like, let's eat Taco Bell together. And I filmed it. I would cut their hair for free because I was a barber. So 2 years of him watching me, he hired me, and here I am. So
That is
anything's
a great
possible.
story. Anything's possible. That's a great story.
Yeah. So
That's a
when
great
I say it's
story.
genuinely
Yes.
from the heart, and I'm not, you know, that's why I have such a small circle. Like that's why I know I'll get somewhere, because it's all love, and I mean that.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
If you're not, and people have agendas, like we'll figure it out. And fake it till you make it, man. Look at this. It looks like a Pepsi roll at $50 at Ross. What's up?
Everybody's running down to Ross right now.
Let's go.
Well,
So-
thank you so much for having us.
Thank you guys,
I
man.
This is
appreciate
an awesome
it.
podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anytime. I got your back. I mean that.
Appreciate you.
Dad, I got your back too. We'll talk, but I want to start doing some jiu-jitsu.
Definitely come by and let's train.
by.
I gotta go pick up my car.
Where do you train at?
Gracie Humaita, Las Vegas.
Do you have
Okay.
any shout outs you want to do
Charleston.
before you
Where's
get
that
off?
at?
Shout out to my dad.
All right.
And
cool.
who else? One more person.
Oh, and shout out to
Mika.
To Logan's dad.
And shout out to Logan's dad.
Yeah.
Shout out to my uncle.
And
Keith.
shout out to both of you. Thank you so much for joining us on this podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
Last minute for me, I was here in the studio, so I'm like, hey, I'll jump in.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank
I
you, bro.
appreciate
You're
it.
a good dude. I'm glad I was on. And got to know you.
Absolutely. Amber behind the.
Amber.
Shout out to Amber.
All right, guys. Thank you. Fight Junkeez once again, and we're out. Thank you.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you guys.